Shorty got the plug for the petrol. She always tryna go through my cell phone. She start acting up, take her ass home. But she cool though, locked down. And we are Gucci, man.
Copy that.
So
copy
this
that.
is my homie Joey Chase right here. Old Boston friend, old college friend. This dude right here is one of the most athletic. Nah, for sure. For sure. One of just hands down. Just one of the most, I'm gonna widen the angle a little bit more. Here we go. One of the most athletic, you know, just go-getter type people. Legit. What else? This motherfucker can eat so much food and the shit goes, I don't know where it goes. I swear he's got a tapeworm in his stomach. 100%. This motherfucker can legit eat massive amounts of food. It's crazy.
It's a gift and a curse.
100%. He's definitely a baller for sure. Every sport I play with this dude, it's like his motherfucker been playing it for his entire life. One of my best friends. He's from out here though. He's a Cali native. Yeah, now, right now he's in a brand new movie that's dropped. When is the movie actually released?
So right now it's in negotiations with
Got you.
different distributors.
Got you.
So this Saturday is the first time ever that it's going to be screened.
It's gonna be screened. Movie called Cade. Should we watch? Let's watch the trailer first.
Yeah, put that.
Let's get the
that
trailer
shit
up.
Good looks on the kind intro.
No, for sure. This is my dude right here.
Yeah.
This is my guy. So
We
to
go
see,
back.
so to see him in the movie game, and to see him in the film industries, and to see like him just starting, because I know that's an industry that takes a while to just even break through. So we're gonna get into just all that in a minute.
I like the Christmas tree, keeping it festive.
Oh yeah.
Didn't you have a album once with the family dinner, or like with the Christmas tree?
Oh yeah. I think the first actual album was a Christmas tree actually.
So you were actually always my very, very first creative inspiration, man. Like I remember when I met you in Boston, you were always just spitting bars and
For sure.
man,
That was a
we would
time.
get fucked up back in the day. And
That was a
bars.
time indeed right there. For sure that was a time. I've only seen the first trailer and I was already sold. I couldn't wait. And I'll put the links to the first movie in the description later. But this one right here, I haven't even seen the trailer yet. I'm about to see this movie on Saturday. Super amped. Cade, let's do it.
The world has changed. You're from back. But I can't. The honor gang is no good for my city.
Oh shit.
What you doing, huh?
Who's Kenichi? He's the leader of the honor gang.
Ooh.
You have a lot of gas, they keep it tight watch over the city. You got any leads? The playmaker. Kenichi and his gang. Where do they hang out? Wait, come on, we shouldn't even be thinking about this. We can find some other way.
What do you intend to do?
To justice.
You can't arrest them, Cade.
I won't cross that line. If I do, I'm no different than them. Also, just but you're different, kid.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
So that's the first time you saw that?
That was the first time I saw that trailer.
Yeah, they just released it.
Watch your other trailer.
Yeah, they just released that. Yeah.
We watched the first one, and it's crazy because from the first trailer, let's go back to the main joint. I got the same, like, that energy I got from the first trailer after watching it was crazy intense. Like, mind you, I'd say it's still almost just, how long is the first trailer? First trailer is almost just as long, I feel like. And I still had, like, the same type of, like, that energy, and they don't even show, like, the level. I think it was just you only, like, maybe 2 people in the first trailer.
I don't know. There's a whole marketing thing behind it. They had like a teaser.
I mean,
two.
but that's what I mean. Just like the level of energy that I'm just getting off of the trailers of this movie is fucking crazy, dude. Like, yeah, the first trailer was 1:30. That was the one that I first watched. This one was 2 minutes and 42 seconds. So another minute and some change. But showing, there's definitely clearly, like, the movie was finished. In the first trailer, you see bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, it was still a lot of post-production
I'm sure
stuff.
there was still
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that was done. You could still tell, but this one you could tell the movie's fucking done. Like,
It's done.
yeah.
It's done.
I'm excited for this. I'm so excited for this. This is looking crazy. This is looking insane. Like, for real. Like, what the hell? All right, so let's start it off then. When it even comes to getting into that space, because this looks like, for the most part, an action movie, right?
Yeah, it's definitely an action movie.
Yeah.
The stunt choreographer and director is, like, really into martial arts.
Yeah.
He actually is a teacher himself at martial arts. He's an instructor. And he does, like, statewide competitions. And actually recently he did some big tournament where he got first place. And in the first round, it's like hardcore, like, full-on combat. Mm-hmm. They do, like, rounds. And the first round, he threw this crazy punch and dislocated his shoulder. He kept fighting. I think it was like
he's a
6
beast.
more
He's
rounds,
one of those.
and he
He's
won.
one of those.
And he won.
He's one of those. He won. So all those other dudes, y'all got beat by a dude with a dislocated arm. Like, on some real talk. That's crazy. So he's the fight stunt choreographer.
He's the fight choreographer and director and writer.
And writer.
Yeah. So this is like a vision. This is his baby. We did 6 months of fight choreography training.
That's
leading
essentially
up to
what
it.
I was gonna ask. Is, like, when it comes to that, because when it comes to an action movie, yeah, the storyline is important. The acting also quite important. But let's be real, the fight scenes and all that is legit the foundation of the movie for the most part. Like, you can have great acting, but if the fighting and all that, then what are we watching here? This ain't an action movie. This is a drama. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if it's an action movie, like, the fight and all that, it matters. It's a big deal in that. So you don't want to play. So y'all did 6 months of training just before even, like, getting into shooting or anything like that.
6 months of just multiple times a week, constant training. We started at the basics. He basically ran through a crash course for the 2 leads. So the protagonist, Cade, and then me, the villain. And, you know, we started from ground zero. He took us basically from each belt all the way to black belt, kind of. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And ran through everything from the blocks to the different stances. And then,
How familiar were you with this stuff before you even got into it?
I mean, you know, Chris Urikian, the protagonist, you know, when he grew up, he did some karate as a kid, you know, as a lot of kids do.
Yeah.
Me, I did a lot of taekwondo growing up too, and I actually did sparring and stuff. But I mean, like you said, I love my sports and I don't
Yeah.
like to lose.
Facts.
And I get competitive, and I've been in some scuffles.
Got
and
you.
I've
Yeah.
been, you know, my journey.
One thing I do notice, you spending as much time as you did in my hometown as far as Boston, one thing I noticed is a difference from here to in Boston is there's literally like a Taekwondo like training spot on like every fucking corner, every block out here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you want to take your kid to karate class or something out here, it is extremely easy to find a spot.
Yeah,
like
well-
that is, that's not very common back in Boston where you're just seeing that shit on every fucking corner.
No, New England. Yeah,
You got to
there really
search for
isn't.
that shit. Those dudes who were in it, they were in it. They went to those specific gyms. They went to those specific spaces. Those dudes who were into mixed martial arts or anything like that. They weren't even at the regular gyms. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, it's crazy that you getting into that. So that's something you had just said. Cause I think it's every boy's dream, maybe girls, I don't, singling anybody out, but it's every boy's dream to be in an action movie or to be an action star. But, usually you want to be the hero. You just said you're the villain.
I'm the villain.
The main villain. Like, with that being the case, how did that feel when you first, like, because did you know that? Is that the role you auditioned for? Is that the role, or was that like, hey, this would be a fit for you? Like, would you mind taking on this role?
Yeah, so the director and writer from Glassell Productions, he actually, this wasn't something overnight. This is something that came to him in this story that he wanted to tell for a long time. He's really into, martial arts and action and cinematography. So we actually started originally with a short film of completely different plot and everything called Snapped to kind of be like a chemistry test to see, okay, can, Chris Eurekian, guy playing Cade, and myself, can we carry on a story? Do we have on-screen chemistry? And I don't know if you saw Snapped.
I believe we watched Snap together.
Okay, you did.
Yeah, we watched it together.
That's right. So then, there's a little bit, there's some action in there, but he wanted
Good amount of action.
He wanted to throw. Yeah, actually,
But the storyline was definitely like had the crazy fucking twist at the end.
Oh yeah,
I
we don't want to
remember.
give that away. They
Not
can
at all.
watch
But just
that
in
one's
general,
out.
I think that's something to point out as far as like what he clearly likes about his movies is plot, storyline are still a focus, which can sometimes not even be in people's peripheral and vision when they're making an action movie.
Absolutely.
But it's clearly still even though that's what I noticed is like there was still a twist, but the action there was still good fight scenes and all that stuff in the movie too. So like,
yeah, actually, so in Snapped, he wanted to do the chemistry test. He threw some rapid stunt choreography, and we had some fight scenes in there.
yeah,
And that actually got nominated for best stunt choreography in a San
makes
Diego
sense.
Film Week.
makes sense.
And so and there was a premiere and screening for that, which had a pretty cool attendance. We were surprised. I was on Coronado Island.
Yeah.
And at that, a certain executive producer came to watch the screening of that short film and to see how it all felt, how the crew and the cast all meshed together.
Yeah.
And that greenlit this feature film project, and then that's what the financing, everything. I said, okay, I like how they produced this, and that's how it was originally tested. And then from there, the 6 month of fight choreography training, I even took on kendo, which is like Japanese fencing, to learn how to like properly handle.
That's
and get
with
to know
the
katana.
two-handed sword style.
Yeah, but it's like a wooden one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very. I feel like with that fighting style, it's a lot of respect as well because the movements are very like you're not just going crazy or whatever.
No, it's all about respect, and you're supposed to be more relaxed. The
Yeah.
more effortless you can make it. The more advanced you are, the more effortless it seems.
I remember an old
Like
video
Steph Curry's
game.
shot, right?
Yeah, for real. I remember an old video game called Bushido Blade that was like, and it was like kendo, but clearly it was all like real swords, not the wooden joints. But that sounds crazy. That sounds crazy right there. So taking on the role of the villain, and and it's still being that action, do you still feel like, hey, this is a space, because like that you feel comfortable in, that you like enjoying this role? Did you?
Oh, I liked it too much, man. I liked it too much. So, I'm still feel fairly new to this space and industry, but wow, it's already been like, I'm coming on 4 years of really being professionally into this industry. But I always typically, the bread and butters of the commercials, and like the fitness and the clean cut, the firefighter look, the boy next door. And so
You just did a bit. You just did a big commercial for Lucid.
Lucid Motors.
Lucid Motors, their new vehicle. Before that, the commercial even came out. I watched a ton of review videos on it, and it was looking at how crazy it is. And then
that's right,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then I see the ad pops up, and it's you in it. I'm like, okay, I see it. They think, and they're right if they're thinking this dude could sell some Lucids. He can. He's that dude you want in front selling the Lucids, essentially, because them shits is fire. Did you get to drive it at all? Did they let you?
Oh no, they had a professional driver.
Of course,
Man,
crashing it.
Yeah, there was a
$100,000
lot. That was a
car.
big set. That was a big, a lot of money went into that. So they were super particular about everything.
We're talking about $100,000 car right
There was
there.
one shot where there's suitcases where I was loading in and out of the trunk, and they wanted to make it as bougie and luxury as possible. This suitcase set was, I guess, over 10 grand. And there was one guy whose job was in charge of the suitcases. And I remember one set, I kind of just picked it. He's like, whoa, God, careful. And I was like, damn, I don't even want to touch these. But that just shows you the level of detail that they put into that. But
It's crazy. It matters. It matters. And speaking of which, like, so this movie, and this production is, how do you say it? It's like, do you say it's indie?
So this is an independent.
Independent?
So it's an independent film, and there's a lot of like business stuff and things that I can't really disclose.
Of course.
This is a big stepping stone, and I know that the director, writer, producer have big plans for the next step and future, and going beyond the independent world now.
Yeah.
So I can't say too much more about that, but it is, as of right now, it is considered an independent, low budget film.
Yeah. But that still is a legit space, right?
It is some big film, like, Blair Witch Project.
That's what I'm saying. That's still I feel like I grew up with that being a legit space. You can exist in that space, make it, and then it puts your name on the board. It gives you that stamp, that a lot of directors and, actors are looking for, by just, I did this little indie film that actually got some traction because it was fire. Because I think to make a good movie, it's clear that money isn't the factor in making a good movie. It's, good storytelling and, creative people, I think. But like nowadays, you look at the budgets for these movies.
I know.
It's insane.
I think like 20 million is considered a low budget movie now.
I know.
And I think, what was I looking at? Like, it's funny. It was on the TV the other day. The Other Guys, right?
The Other Guys,
the Rock
that
was
movie?
on it. Samuel
Yeah.
L. for like 5 minutes in the beginning.
Yep.
And
Yeah, they were in the beginning because they die super early in
yeah,
the
because
movie.
I think The Rock is actually the most expensive actor to star in a
It
movie.
would make sense. It would make
And
sense.
so I looked it up, and it cost $100 million to make that movie, and that's a comedy with Will Ferrell, right? And it grossed 119 million.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So then, when you say it like that, it's like, not much, but it's like 20%. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a $20 million profit.
It is a $20 million profit.
Shows you, takes money to make money.
100%.
And yeah, but again, Blair Witch Project, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Everyone knows it. When I saw that back then, when I at that age, it scared the fuck out of me.
And that was like before streaming.
Before streaming, before all that, I think also before the real like budget film was allowed to look like,
Yeah.
it wasn't, because remember Blair Witch, it was like essentially shot on the handy cam.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know?
but that's what drew people to it, and that's what kind of gave
Exactly.
it that extra new
Exactly.
look.
Exactly.
But what is something exciting I don't think I even shared with you yet is
Oh, we got breaking news right here, ladies and gentlemen.
I
Got breaking news.
don't know where I put it, but so it's interesting that this movie Cade is an independent film,
Right.
So which is non-union,
Right.
And then there's been a strike and whatnot. So
Yeah.
fortunately, because of the strike, and me being a non-union actor, I'm SAG eligible leading up to it, so I was able to talk about it. I was able to continue working, thankfully, so I could earn,
right.
because I was non-union.
Yeah.
So the strike ended, and I did some multiple different gigs, and now I'm officially a SAG-AFTRA
In
union
the squad.
actor.
He's officially in the gang.
And so that was
So
I
getting
guess
in that.
technically well, go ahead.
So, to the average person who might not know, who might just be working at Mickey D's, who might just be this. Look at that. I see when I first saw that little person, I always thought that was Michael Jackson, like doing like a when I was younger, I always thought it was Michael Jackson, but they're so to the average person who might not know, benefits to being in SAG. Does that mean that like instantly you're put on to movies, or do you still gotta work? You still gotta put in work.
Oh, you still gotta put in
right?
work. You're just in a new caliber, in a new pool, a new consideration for like typically bigger projects. So now I'm seeing auditions for like network series roles.
Because most of those places only take SAG actors.
Yeah, or if they really love someone, they'll take a non-union actor, but then they have to make them SAG if they have a certain degree of a role in the project. So like, for example, I've done 2 TV episodes that were SAG and union projects, but
Right.
as I got, I auditioned and I got the part and booked it as a non-union, but my roles were, they were like supporting roles. And
They were smaller roles.
and the shows didn't really they were both pilot episodes, so
Gotcha.
they didn't really get taken. Well, one of them is still in post-production, but basically those 2 shows allowed me to get my SAG eligibility, which allowed me to join SAG.
Because you gotta, I imagine, do a certain level of
Like,
acting work.
you get like certain number of lines or whatever. Like, I don't know the fine print, but because I was part of those projects, that allowed me the opportunity to join SAG. And then I held off on joining, thankfully, because there's a lot of non-union commercials that I was doing, and
Yeah.
independent stuff, to just build my experience, build my demo reel.
Of course, you need the mixtape
Yep.
of your work. You
Yep.
gotta have a mixtape like of your work.
Yep.
But
And then and then the strike happened, so I
Yeah.
joined too soon, I wouldn't have been able to work and develop my craft, develop a reel.
because I know some people probably be just quick to hop on the SAG,
You don't, yeah, and
and they hadn't put the work in yet, but they did sell a little bit, and they just want to get that membership real quick. Just
there is a
that.
backdoor way. If you
Really?
are a background actor
regularly.
and you get 3 vouchers, like let's say, yeah, and if you're just an extra in 3,
Because I hear that background extra work is chill as fuck.
well, I have some stories about that, but if you do 3 vouchers and do about big studio films, then you can get your SAG eligibility that way, but you have to get 3 vouchers. So
I'm cool being a dude just walking down the street.
so I did extra work once on a film because I really liked the original. It was White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah.
And then they made the sequel with Jack Harlow, right? And
I couldn't finish the fucking movie.
So I told my manager, hey, I want to do this. Like, there's this.
I did not realize you're in the background of that.
Yeah,
movie.
so you can apply. And I was like, my manager's like, no, don't do it. You don't want to do extra work. It's long, it's tedious, blah, 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 the pay, blah. And then I was like, well, I just want to do it once for the experience. I know, I'm trying to build my career towards some other
something
direction.
bigger, yeah.
And he's like, well, you know what? For the experience, do it. And then so I did it. And he was absolutely right. It was an awful experience. It was long days. And I was part of the final scene of the movie in the background, and you can't even tell I'm in there. And it was a good learning experience. So and that was like a week-long thing. So if I do 2 more things like that, I could have gotten my SAG eligibility that way.
But
that was a one and done with.
But it was that bad that
it was like a 12-hour day.
But they didn't even use you, or did you work at all those days when you?
There was like 500 people, like of extras, and then we had to park somewhere. Then they bust us over to another spot where they COVID tested us, and then they bust us to another spot where they fed us.
Oh,
and then they bust
COVID.
us to wardrobe, and then they bust us to the waiting area, and then they bust us to lunch, and then they bust us to set. And I was actually chilling and chopping it up with Blake Griffin was there, which was kind of cool. That was cool. But then, I think he was like behind the scenes on the movie. I think he was one of the producers. I don't know if he was helping out with the basketball coaching or whatnot. But, everybody's just waiting for Jack Harlow. And then when he shows up, they filmed, and then everybody kind of
just leaves.
The mood changes when he's on set and then when he leaves. It's just like hurry up and wait all day. And
But you're getting paid hourly.
it's a day rate.
It's a day rate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a day rate.
Yeah.
It's a day rate. That's what it be. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
But
what it be too.
I don't. If you do it every day, I mean, you could. It adds up. You can live off that.
And if it's a hurry up and wait, could you have been working, doing a side hustle on your laptop, or do they like restrict what you have? Do they like?
No, you can be. Well, you can't bring your phone. Like, I mean, if you're at the food station where there's tables, yeah, you can just sit and chill there on like a fold up.
But
chair.
other than there, are you sitting there with your thoughts, or you have to like talk to people?
I mean, yeah, you talk to people for a couple hours, and then you talk to some other people for a couple hours, and then you're on your phone for a couple hours, and then you're tired. Yeah, and then you know how LA traffic is, so you got to be there on time early so you can hurry up and wait. Yeah.
So you learned your lesson.
But it was a great learning experience.
That was a great
I don't
learning
hate on anyone doing extra work. Like it's
Well, because I haven't seen the movie, but I hear the Napoleon movie. The fight scenes, the war scenes, they're massive. But
yeah, I haven't seen it.
bro who made Aliens did that. What's his name? What's the director? I can't remember his name, but but the fight scenes, they were massive war scenes, and they were like, he had those he really did have. They weren't like CGI'd. He really had those amount of people there.
Yeah.
So
They were
when
waiting.
you say that, I'm just imagining how many extras it takes to shoot some of those war scenes.
Well, there's there's different types of extras. There's featured extras. They get a little pay bump, and then it's background. So I was background.
From what I've seen, it looks like it's like background. It's like, because it's supposed to essentially just look like a lot of people. So I'm sure they're all probably just wearing the war gear.
And they all get assigned wardrobe. So I was background in White Man Can't Jump, and I was, I'm in there I love basketball.
Of course.
I want to be one of the guys playing. I'm just praying and hoping that I'd get bumped up to a featured extra to be playing basketball. But of course, they had all their featured extras all picked out. And
So you just got to hope for someone to get injured or some shit.
Well, as a baller, you never hope for anybody to get injured.
Yeah, true. True, that's facts.
But I would have stepped up.
Yo, dude. I mean, now that, so I guess these guys in this one, maybe because they're riding horses and shit.
Oh, yeah,
But,
that's
like,
interesting because
So like all that right there is all real. Like all that's real people.
and they got the snow too.
Yeah, all that's real people. So let me show people for the stream who don't know what I'm talking about. Oh shit. But yeah, stuff like that, I do wonder, like, because there's so many fucking people, dude. Like, it's crazy. But all right, for this one though, none of that. You're the main dude. You're a main dude. No extra work. You're a part of something. You feel a part of it because
Absolutely.
you are a part of it. When it comes to that, do you how does it work when it's like, does something doesn't feel right? Do you feel comfortable voicing your opinion and be like, hey, this doesn't feel right, especially with action scenes and fight stuff like that? Do you like?
Yeah, so the director / stunt choreographer was super creative. He knew exactly what shots he wanted and how they would look before, like, he just, like, you know, would be sparring and stuff, and even just without a camera, he just like look, and he'd be like, we can't do it, we got to do it this way. And he was really, we kept practicing, and then he's like, no, we have to change this. So we would tweak it on how things played out, and we were collaborative. And
So have you punched anyone or been hit yet?
oh yeah,
Yeah?
So I'll tell you right now, anything that's a body shot
Was
is
legit. You was like, you got to do it. You
100%
just gotta
real.
do it. You just gotta do it, and you just gotta take it.
Kicks and body shots, all of it are real. There were some, you know, punches that, you know, above the neck that landed for sure.
Of course,
there were a couple black eyes,
You go into it being like, that's not gonna be the case, but
but you signed the waivers.
you say, and on top of that, hold on. So the black eyes, is that something that you got to cover up with makeup after?
Well,
'Cause
you
you
know,
gotta
this
keep
is
going.
all like 6 months of stunt choreography. So
Oh, and
this
the
is
stunt.
This is while you're practicing.
oh yeah, this is while practicing.
What about like for the big shot? Like, were there shots that flew in those scenes also, like here and there, or by that point you guys know the dance?
Oh, you would think so, but then when it's game time,
Of course,
the
you want it to look
adrenaline
real.
fills.
You want to hit them a little bit.
You
right?
you hit them a little bit harder. You want it to be a little more real.
Yeah, and them lines I feel like them lines might sound different because you're in character. He's disrespecting you.
Get a little deeper.
Full wardrobe. Now we got the makeup, the blood.
Of course. Of course.
Things got real.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, emotions and feelings were hurt.
And so, have you seen it yet yourself?
I have. So I actually got to at the beginning. You know, I grew up early on in Japan, and so I'm half Japanese, and my character is, you know, mixed ethnicity, half Japanese, and he was part of a Yakuza gang and kind of left Japan because he was mixed blood and wasn't accepted by the other Yakuza. So came, you know, to this area to start my own gang. And so I speak a lot of Japanese in it.
Right.
And so I said, okay, I hate when like a lot of movies, the subtitles are just off, right? So I said from the beginning, like, I really want to be involved in the subtitles.
Yeah.
So they kept their word. So I got to, you know, be a big part of the subtitle translation. So I got to, you know,
That's a
I
big
got
deal.
to see a lot because
I didn't even think about that because I don't know. Maybe I don't think about it because it's so passive. Because I have subtitles for pretty much everything I watch. The subtitles are on for when I'm watching anything on Netflix, anything on whenever I'm watching anything, the subtitles are on. No, maybe only time on is maybe on YouTube when it's subtitled because the subtitles suck on YouTube because no one's really doing their fucking
yeah,
subtitles.
but see, there's a difference between, because I'm fortunate to have lived in both. I have, you know, I have a white mom and a Japanese dad, so like there's a culture clash in the house, and like
of course.
So there's a difference between just the literal translation and interpretation. So I'm talking about like, yeah, okay, it might be the correct translation, but it's not interpreted right. So like, for example, just like, ore nameten no ka means like,
The way he said that,
you
he sounded
fucking
like
licking me?
you heard him say that? He sounded like a fucking villain. I can't wait to see this movie. His characters, you sounded like a fucking. You sound from the description you just said about your character and what he's come to this country to do, and the way that voice just sounded. That was fucking crazy. That was intense right there. And so hold on, what does that mean?
So ore nameten no ka, that means you fucking licking me, which doesn't make sense, right? That's
Yeah.
the literal translation. But the interpretation is, you fucking mocking me? You know, so like it wouldn't make sense for someone to say, "Are you licking me?" Right? So like,
And that's so easy for someone when they're working on that side of the thing to just do the literal.
yeah, and then but that's like an extreme example. So you can imagine all the space in between that.
course,
So like,
of course.
so I was able to see it a lot, especially because of like I was just heavily involved in telling the story correctly with the translation. And but that was just me being me. I was like, I really I want to be part of, because I don't want to be, again, my character suffers an identity crisis, not being accepted, being mixed blood. Me growing up in two countries, I went through an identity crisis. So I'm like, I don't want people and family in Japan to be like, whoa, like way off, and like, same thing.
Oh yeah.
So
I feel you.
yeah, so that's why,
Oh damn. So that's as far as like character depth, you connected with your character. I'm sure that helped with just acting and all that in general.
Yeah, I do.
Because most people would say method acting, but it sounds like you didn't really have to do that because that was almost your background to that degree.
Yeah, in a sense.
Not necessarily the murderous side.
Well,
villainous
no,
side.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
No.
he's not a villain at all. The thing I'm most excited for though, that I've seen in now both trailers, are these fight scenes, dude. These fight scenes sound.
I can't wait for you to see it.
These fight scenes sound intense, dude. These fight scenes sound intense. With that, so what do you think is like? Like, do you have anything like on the horizon? What's next in this space?
So, actually, yeah, I was just saying, am I allowed to say it? But yeah, so, what's interesting is I have to revisit with my manager, but I did 2 independent films this year as a non-union, and then I booked a third one, which the shoot dates got pushed to 2024, I think around February. Okay. But now I'm SAG. So, but I committed to that movie prior to joining the SAG-AFTRA union. So I believe I'm still allowed to do that one last independent film because I committed to it before I joined the union.
Gotcha.
But don't quote me on that. I'll have to run that by the people,
the team.
The team. But I did recently. I'm excited to share. I think they posted online, so I can say it. But I booked a lead in a feature film that is a SAG movie based off of a Stephen King short story called The Lucky Quarter. So it's a horror film. And
you already know Stephen King is that dude.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, like I think the most famous movie, he's an author, Stephen King, pretty well known. He did It, and so big horror. And so this movie that I booked will be based off of a short story by Stephen King, and they already posted online that they got the rights to it from Stephen King. They got permission. So I'm excited to be able to say that I booked the lead for that.
Who is a struggling single mother with 2 children, a rebellious teenage daughter, and a sickly young son, and an unfulfilling job as a maid, is left a tip of a single quarter with a note saying that it is a lucky quarter. She takes a quick gamble on it and finds that it brings her some small luck. Moving on to a real casino, she keeps trying her luck, and soon she's winning thousands of dollars. Oh shit, this sounds like some Stephen King shit right here.
Yeah.
He's always his Tales from the Crypt, like just stories that have like common people, like a fucking mom who is just going through it and just gets left a single quarter, and then just some crazy shit starts happening. It doesn't have to, because it is crazy, but I like Stephen King because he don't always have to go super horror, super hardcore.
Yeah, this one's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
it's,
he still finds a way to keep it like crazy. Nah, Stephen King's that dude. This is sounding fucking crazy right here.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for that. And that one is a SAG
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's a union film.
Damn, that's super amazing, dude. And with that, with the whole, I guess we're wrapping this up with the whole like strikes ending and things of that nature. Like, are you, granted, it sounds like a lot of people are worried. Are you like crazy worried about AI and things of that nature? Or are you like, that's not really going to affect me. I'm going to be out here doing my thing type shit. Like,
So that's one of the things that was on, the strike was about, that covered
100%.
that they got. They made sure that actors were protected. So basically the strike, rates are better. Actors are protected from AI stuff. But honestly, I'm just honored to be a part of SAG and to be able to say that I'm a SAG-AFTRA professional working actor. And I appreciate all those that picketed and
They were out there, dude.
They were out there for a long time.
yeah,
A lot of respect.
I
to
drove
them.
by to go to work. I drove by those dudes every day.
Yeah, no, I mean they're the reasons that I'm blessed to be able to have things like SAG rates and residuals and protected from AI. I am so fresh to SAG now, and I'm just humbled and honored to be even in any movie. And so, I feel blessed, too blessed to stress.
Has AI affected your life at all? Do you use AI for anything right now? Like, do you use anything AI based? Chat GTP?
I have, just to mess around with it,
but you
and
don't use anything AI based right now.
I don't.
'Cause I feel like the average person, to me right now, just the average, like talking to my parents, everyone, no one is really using other than maybe to ask it Google something or Siri something.
I feel like
No one's really using AI like that to that degree.
students are doing it to write
Yeah,
essays.
of course.
and
Come on.
shit.
Yeah. That's
But,
the. Come on,
I
that's-
definitely would have.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, man.
And even
they
with
should've
that
had it.
now, there's like a way to tell now if something's written by the way the format is written by AI. So even students are getting busted for that shit now. But like, I feel like the average person, to me personally, like I talk to or I see, I haven't seen AI creep into like the average person's life to a degree where it's like, all right, that's a little scary now. But with the acting thing and them trying to, what I hear with how they can use it in movies, I can understand 100% with fucking technology nowadays, and they can apparently they can use you in the background of a movie and then
keep using you, recreate you. Yeah, so that's not cool. But I would
just
like to
fucking
think
crazy.
Yeah, that's
if you see a movie after being in fucking White Man Can't Jump, if you see yourself in the background of another movie and you're like, yo, I was not even there, and it's fucking, you'd be bugging out, dude.
I would be. Speaking of that, I think I heard somebody told me, I don't know, that the Grand Theft Auto 6 was leaked today, the trailer?
Or it wasn't leaked, it was officially announced.
it was released. Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
was
I thought
officially
somebody said it
announced.
was leaked.
Yeah, it's in my topics. I'm gonna get into it a little later.
Oh, okay, cool.
The official trailer was
So it was released, not leaked.
there were tons of leaks prior that were just rumors and things of that nature.
Okay.
But the actual legit trailer for the game was released today. It comes out at some point in 2025.
Okay.
So we're about a year and some change out. I'm imagining probably like fall, winter of 2025. But the trailer was pretty crazy. It's exciting. If you've played Grand Theft Auto before,
I have. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, at this point when you look at it, it's like, oh my god, it's scary to think what Grand Theft Auto 7 will look like. Honestly, when I look at Grand Theft Auto 6, honestly, so it's pretty crazy. But this was amazing, dude. Thanks for pulling up.
Yeah,
man.
thanks for having me. I'm honored. You are.
Guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna say peace out to my boy Joey Chase real quick.
Thank you, everyone. This guy's the man.
Yeah,
I
for
love him
sure.
to death.
Yeah,
And looking forward to everybody check out Cade. When it's
Cade will be
released.
dropping super soon. The release date and all that will be left in the comments ASAP.
Thank you, guys.